Hello everybody, my name is James. I am a video production specialist here at Videoguys. It is Tuesday, it is about 3 o'clock Eastern, which means it is time for another Videoguys Live. Today we have a very exciting show. We're going to be talking about the new SimpleTrack3 from PTZOptics, and I am joined by Jon Roberts from PTZOptics. Jon, as we always do when we have a guest on, why don't you introduce yourself and PTZOptics to the audience?
Absolutely. So my name is Jon Roberts. I'm the customer success manager here at PTZOptics. So we offer amazing PTZ solutions for everything from education, house of worship, to corporate and entertainment and beyond. We try to offer 5-year warranties for all of our cameras, and we're always pushing and striving to update our cameras for free. So if you're looking for a camera that's easier to use with really great domestic support, come over to PTZOptics and we have a great selection for you. And I'm so happy to be here, James. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Before we get into the SimpleTrack 3, of course, we are big fans of the Move SCs and the Move 4Ks and your box cameras. And definitely, like you said, you can absolutely give us a call if you have any questions, but definitely feel free to reach out to PTZOptics because their support team is amazing. So let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about the SimpleTrack 3 here.
Awesome. So I'm glad you mentioned the Move series. So we have the Move 4K and the Move SE. Those are our standard line of cameras, obviously 4K and 1080p PTZ cameras. We wanted to offer a camera that gives a little bit extra boost of power and customization, and that's where we brought the SimpleTrack 3 to market. So the SimpleTrack 3 is a camera that's also going to give you hands-free solutions, so you can lecture, you can present, you can even have a stage production completely hands-free without a producer, or you can double down and get very customized and integrate the SimpleTrack 3 with a Move 4K or a Move SE and integrate a smart camera with multiple of our PTZ cameras and control them all fluidly. So this is a camera that's very easy to use. It's plug and play. You can just plug it in, turn on auto tracking, and just walk away. And I'll show you guys that in just a second. So it not only has auto tracking, it also has auto framing as well if you want to keep multiple subjects in the frame. And then, of course, the real highlight here of a dual tracking camera is the dual lenses, of course. So you have a 20x zoom lens, which is your main barrel lens at the center, and then, of course, a wide angle reference lens. So let's go to a quick little view of my screen here where I can show you a quick little look at the web interface of the SimpleTrack 3. And then I want to show you a little bit about the ports on the back here. So just as a quick overview, a new web interface. So it's a brand new camera from PTZOptics. It's going to show you a bunch of different zones here, which I'll go into in a little bit more detail. The blocking zone that's red and the tracking zone that's green, and our preset zones as well. But before I go in and show you a demo, I want to show you the back of the camera because our ports are, of course, very, very important. So if we could just show the next slide there, it shows some of the ports so you can see exactly how you might want to use this camera. So if you need to know about the exact view and reference view of our lenses, it's a very wide angle lens, especially when you're looking at the reference view. You have 20x for the actual barrel PTZ lens. Of course, there's PoE support as well as the Move series and the Move 4K as well as all PoE. And then, of course, it provides auto tracking up to about 55 feet. And then it comes with your HDMI, your SDMI, SDI, USB, and NDI HX2. So when I talk about custom zone management, I want to show you a little bit about that. And I want to show you how I can just stand up and walk into this green zone here, and it'll immediately start tracking me. All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, so now as Jon walks away, you will see that the camera is going to start tracking him as soon as he walks into that green zone there. And as you can see, Jon is walking around. There's no one else in his studio because you can see that wide angle lens. And as he goes over to the podium and then around, the camera is able to smoothly track him as he continues to walk around. And one last thing, as he gets to that other blocking zone, he has set a preset to make it go back to its home or starting position. And now we have Jon Roberts back. So that was a pretty cool demo. Very smooth.
Thank you, James. Yeah, so that was showing off the tracking zone. So you have the ability to set the zone however you'd like it. You can, of course, just turn on auto tracking right away, and then it will immediately start tracking. You don't need to set this zone. You don't need to set any zone if you want. Like I said, it's a plug and play camera if you really want it to be. You can just plug it into USB and then boom, jump right into it. So I'm glad you're showing this slide because I want to talk about the dual lens technology and why it's so important. You might think, well, I have a Move 4K, it does great auto tracking, and it does, and you can customize it, but you're not going to have the level of zone management and the fine detail of customization when it comes to the preset zone and all of the other zones. But the real value of a dual lens camera is that it's using both at the same time. When you're using the Move 4K, you're going to be locked on to someone and you're going to be tracking them. The Move 4K and other tracking cameras, they're not going to have a full view of your whole space. It's why we include this very wide angle lens. You can bring and use both angles of the production with either lens if you'd like, but we are going to focus on the PTZ view and the PTZ tracking lens, of course, for our main production. The view allows us to see beyond just what you're tracking. So if there's a subject that you're currently tracked into and you're zoomed in, well, the camera is going to know and recognize it. It's something that we call stage awareness. This camera has awareness of its overall environment. Like I said, it's about like a 60-degree wide angle, so it's extremely wide. It's a 720p 60 FPS lens that you're able to also add as an NDI input separately if you want to create like a picture-in-picture in like a vMix or OBS software. So that's the real value, is that you're able to view your whole surrounding while also being able to focus and use that strong lens and the strong glass to get a really crisp picture.
I think it's a good thing to mention as you're talking about that. When you're on a single camera lens, you're stuck, not stuck, but you can only see what that one lens sees. But then when you add that dual lens, not only you as the camera operator can see what else is going on stage, but the camera can see its surroundings, can see if the subject is about to go out of tracking or whatever, and being able to set your blocking and your trigger zones and all of that. You can't do that with a single lens camera, and this helps with that and makes it the auto tracking all that much better.
Exactly, exactly. So let's jump into some of these zones and talk a little bit about them. So the power of this is that they're all customizable. So you have, of course, your tracking zone, as I showed off the green box there. And after the slide, we could even go back to the web interface and I can show you what that looks like too as well. So
Yeah.
you have the tracking zone, which of course is everywhere you want to track someone. The preset zone, you're going to have triggers. So this isn't just your standard PTZ preset. You've, of course, can set those presets with our camera here, the SimpleTrack3, but the preset zones are a little bit more detailed. So you can use HTTP commands to trigger something else. So that could be triggering a preset on our Move 4K camera or Move SE camera. It could be triggering anything that takes an HTTP command. So that could even be turning on a light, for instance. If you can control that via HTTP, you can even turn off cameras, lights. You can even automate your whole room to work around that. With the blocking zone, that's exactly where you want to avoid tracking. So maybe there's like a window that people might walk by, maybe there's a door frame, or maybe there's just multiple people on stage and you only want one of those speakers to be tracked as soon as you turn on tracking. So that's a huge portion of it. So let's look at the tracking zone here. The tracking zone in this demo, we went to Immaculata University, which is a local university here in Pennsylvania, and we were trying to show off a great use case, which is on a stage or a production. So this could be for conferences for a large stage like this. This could even be like a stage play for school productions. And we'll show you a little bit. We use this space to show off all these individual zones. So you'll see as soon as our subject here, Ashley, walks into that green square, that green rectangle, that's when it'll enable auto tracking right away. So as long as she's in that square, it'll enable it and it'll keep her locked on, which we call presenter lock. So that's going to make sure that you don't lose your subject. And then I'll tell you a little bit about what you just saw at the end when we get to the preset zone as well.
And
All
then
right. So
blocking.
Yes, of course. So the blocking zone is very important. You can see me sitting on that stage, and you don't want to distract from your presenter. So say if you go and turn on auto tracking right now, and we didn't have that blocking zone, well, if I was in the center of the frame, it might lock right onto me and think I'm the presenter. Of course, the web interface allows you to just, hit left or right toggle from one presenter to the next so you can lock onto that presenter. But if you want to avoid that and know automatically when the camera turns on auto tracking, it's going to track that individual, well, then you can block out a space or block out other people in the frame so that it only tracks that specific subject. So think of things like doorways, whiteboards, even other TVs in the room. If you have like a Zoom a meeting up and you have other people, you don't want to think the camera is going to think you want to track one of those. No, you have the option to control this camera and this really powerful camera to track onto whoever you want to track.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And also, thinking about if this is in an auditorium, like in this example here, you can put the blocking on all of those seats so it doesn't, if somebody stands up and walks out of the stadium, you don't have to worry about the camera tracking on them either.
E-
So that's
exactly.
great.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you can think about it for large spaces too, as well. So with the preset zone, this is where, like I said, it gets really exciting and really fun. So you'll see that as soon as Ashley steps into that last zone, what it does is triggers something. And what it's triggering is a preset that we've selected. So as soon as she hits that zone, it not only triggers the preset of the actual camera to move to a preset, it also triggers the lights to dim. So with a controlled light, like an HTTP commanded light, you're able to send a signal directly from your web camera's web interface to that light. So it knows as soon as a speaker were to step off stage, it means that the whole event is over. We can kill the lights and dim the stage. So this is where it gets really exciting. So you can think of this even beyond lights. You could think of this as turning to another camera. And if you tune into PTZOptics live show tomorrow on our YouTube channel, you can see some awesome demos, and we'll show off some of that presets. I couldn't do it live by myself right now, but you'll see it live tomorrow.
This is the sneak peek to tomorrow's show.
Thank you, James. Yeah, thanks for showing that. Thank you.
Okay, and now if you could talk a little bit about the gesture control, this looks really cool too.
Yes, so this is something that we just recently added to the SimpleTrack3. It's really exciting. So if a subject where like Mike is here right now, our awesome video producer, as soon as he raises his arms above his elbows like that, the camera will switch subjects. So you of course have the ability to do this with the web interface. With your IR remote, you can just hit next on the remote to move to your next target or select it on the web interface. But when you're up in front of a stage or you're presenting to your company, sometimes you want it to be a little bit more fluid and you can just easily switch without a presenter. Like I said, we want to make this camera as easy to use for anyone, whether it's a teacher that just wants to be able to capture her lectures throughout the day, or if it's someone who wants to integrate it into a large production and really get into the nitty gritty of these zones.
I think this is great. You mentioned at the top of the show that this is really designed for somebody who doesn't need to worry about having a camera operator. And if you have two people on the stage, like you said, not only do you have blocking to prevent it from, potentially locking onto somebody that you don't necessarily want it to, but then you
Yep.
also have this other feature to ensure that it is always going to be tracking the correct presenter, and the presenter on the stage can make sure that that is happening too. I think this is a great feature. Now, this is something that's also new and exciting. We've been talking a lot about Hive Studio and your Hive Link cameras. So tell us the new and exciting news about the SimpleTrack3 in Hive.
So coming very soon, when I say very soon, August, most likely, maybe September, but very soon, Hive Linked is coming to the SimpleTrack3. If you don't know, Hive is our amazing, incredible software we can use locally and control your PTZ cameras remotely as well. So it's a really powerful tool. Not only can you bring in your PTZ view and your lens of the PTZ camera, but you can also bring in that reference lens, like I said. So you could have NDI outputs of those individually. You could add them directly. You can also edit the color and image settings of those individual lenses as well. That's not something that I mentioned. So in our own camera's web interface, you can do that as well. And in Hive. So check out Hive at ptzoptics.com/Hive. it's a game changer for when it comes to PTZ control. You can now send your camera anywhere and instantly control it. And that's the magic of being Hive linked. So only the PTZ cameras from PTZOptics are going to be Hive linked. So currently we have the Move SE that's out in beta right now for Hive linked, the Move 4K, the Studio series, which is our Studio 4K, all are currently Hive links. So what that means is you connect it once to an Ethernet to your local network, connect it, set it up in Hive, and then you can send that camera anywhere. It'll remember those settings. It'll remember that configuration for your studio. You plug that camera into an Ethernet anywhere. As long as you have as a connection to the internet, it'll instantly, about a minute, populate and show directly in your studio, and you can control that camera now remotely from anywhere. So really exciting, and we're so happy it's coming to the SimpleTrack3, and a lot more updates coming with Hive in the near future.
So you said to head on over to PTZOptics to find out more information on Hive Studio. I highly recommend that you do that. And while you're there, check out more information on the SimpleTrack3 as well. And since you're already on the PTZOptics website, we'll throw in another plug for your show that you're doing tomorrow.
Thank you, James.
Give us a little bit more information of what we can expect to see tomorrow during your demonstration.
Yeah, so we do a live show every month for PTZOptics. We're always showing off our new cameras, the new features, and everything that we are interested in. So we always show off an awesome video from what you guys are using our cameras for. So if you guys have anything that you want to show off with PTZOptics cameras or controllers, you can use hashtag #ShareYourVision. We would love to see that so that we can show it on our live shows. But if you come in and watch our show tomorrow, we always give away a camera. So you might have a chance to win a special camera for yourself if you tune in. And of course, you're going to get some live demos. So not only will you go into some of the tracking demos, we'll show you more of the web interface, and we'll also show you how those presets work. We're going to preset Move 4K. So as soon as I step up to that podium that you saw earlier today, we're going to have a Move 4K switch with vMix so you can see a different angle and shot and how you can control multiple cameras with your SimpleTrack3. So it's taken a smart camera up another level so that you can have full customization. And we are so excited about it, James. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for, like I said, giving us a little bit of a sneak peek. We're super excited to have the SimpleTrack3 in our studio, play with it. Thank you for giving us the little bit of a demo today, talking about some of the cool features with the SimpleTrack3. As always, we always like to give our guests the final word as well. So any last words that you'd like to say to our audience?
Absolutely. Well, if you need anything from PTZOptics, reach out to me. I'm the customer success manager here. I'm always looking to talk to you guys to learn more about what you need from us, how we can help you. So reach out at jon.roberts@ptzoptics.com, and I'll be happy to speak with you. And thanks for having me, James. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Jon. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Stay tuned for next Tuesday, 3 o'clock Eastern. We will be here live on YouTube and Facebook. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about today, please feel free to give us a call at 800-323-2325. We'll see you next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern. Bye.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.